Ironman. First and foremost, welcome. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you taking your time out on a Sunday. Friends and family, same thing, right? We appreciate you guys allowing these guys, and girls, to spend their time away from you guys, and away from home, and spending time with us and growing in that world. I don't take it for granted. A lot of myself, your peers, and your coaches, we actually highly value you guys being here and even celebrations like this. I think Ironman always brings out the good and bad in people, right? And I wanted to address it, just steer into it just for a quick moment to set the stage for today and to set the stage for the future. And that's why I get nerdy. I am nerdy about whiteboards and stuff. I have a ton at home and in my office and things. So I just want to start this way. The biggest identity statement sentence you will say in all time is I am. And it's so important because how you answer that dictates your life, dictates everything, but dictates your jiu-jitsu as well, and how you are along this journey. And really falls into these two categories when we're thinking of the euphemism of jiu-jitsu. You're either a fighter or you're a martial artist. And honestly, if we're being really honest, you're both. You have both of those inside of you, right, that you're toggling with, and there'll be intentional times to be one or the other. I think this is my own personal theory on things. I believe that based on social upbringings and maybe our own individual personal traumas that we bring in life, our default is to be a fighter. What fighters define as, I think of this also as fixed and growth-minded. Fighters are always focused on the next win. They compete with their peers, and they're focused on the outcome. Whereas martial artists, more focused on the journey, celebrate their peers, and they're focused on the process. I think if we don't intentionally finish this sentence, we by default become fighters, and we compare ourselves to our peers where jealousy comes in, ego is in play, and all these things. And I can go on and on about that, right? So we have to make an intention to complete this sentence. I am a martial artist. I am growth. I am focused on growth. And then we'll start focusing on the journey. Days like today, we're here to celebrate our peers, and we focus on the process. And then, because I think in visuals all the time, I think of it as a chart like so. If this is your belt system, and this is literally just a jiu-jitsu euphemism for probably everything in life. You have white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, and black belt. These are your main point marks for your progress in jiu-jitsu. And then I just took an average. This is all make-believe. Don't take these numbers to be true. But let's say 3 years on average for every belt. And that puts you at about 12 years to black belt, right? And when you think about that, on just a general sense, you're 12 years to black belt. And that's that 10,000 reps, 10,000 hours kind of theory, or 10 years theory. And in jiu-jitsu, we all know you either fall out of love with it over time, life happens, injuries happen, and that's why maybe 10 years becomes 12 years, and that's fine. But I want you to notice something, right? As we go through this, you get your belts, you get your belts, you get your belts, all the way to black belt. If you are a fighter, you are only celebrating and focused on these 4 points. And Ironmans are what, 2 hours? So your Ironman, your blue belt guys that are getting blue belts today, your Ironman is 2 hours today, all right? You'll do an Ironman in purple, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. 8 total hours of 12 years. If you finish that sentence all of the time as I am a fighter and I am focused on just outcomes, you are gonna enjoy only 8 hours of your jiu-jitsu 12 years and likely won't ever make it to black. But if you become a martial artist and you're focused on journey and you're intentional about focusing on process and enjoying the journey, you'll enjoy all 12 years, right? And I always equate this to marathon runners. If you only enjoy finishing the race, you enjoy a sliver fraction of running. But if you enjoy the journey, you actually enjoy just running marathons, and you enjoy it. So I say that because I want to steer into what's natural in us, and it's common in us, because we have both of these. And if we aren't intentional about it, we will naturally think like a fighter thinks, and when our peers are getting promoted and moving up, we compare and compete with them, and it's unhealthy, right? It's way healthier to celebrate people that even, oh, they started after me and how they, doesn't matter, right? None of that matters because you're just celebrating peers. We're not competing with anyone else but ourselves, right? We've all heard the cliches, but they're true. So they're really important. I think every Ironman, it stirs up, not in all of us, but some of us, because we're human, it stirs up this and probably goes further down unhealthy and toxic traits out of that world. And it's important that we're intentional and we help each other as a tribe be intentional about really celebrating one another. And I want to celebrate you guys just as much, right? There's the old line that the belt only covers 2 inches of your ass, you have to cover the rest, right? So the belts, yes, the belts are cool identifiers, but they don't really matter. 8 hours of your journey doesn't matter that much. The rest of the journey for the 12 years matters a lot. So if I can really plead with you to index into that, going forward in your journey, I promise you have less fallout. If you want to go, you want to do a previous assessment to kind of prove this right, go review old photos of your foundations classes and look at your peers and notice how many people aren't here anymore. It's because they identified things like here a lot. They couldn't get crossover, and it's unfortunate. We try to get everyone there, but we just, we get there at our own pace, right? But let's learn from that and let's build on ourselves a little bit, yeah? So that was my big, my dad talk before our Ironman today, okay? In today's Ironman, we have, I believe it's 10 people getting their blue belt today, right? So it's a big Ironman. We'll call them out individually in a moment, and we'll get it kicked off. Recognize what the Ironman is, what the Ironman is not. The Ironman is celebrating our peers. The Ironman is not competing with our peers. You're not coming out there to whoop their ass and beat them up. We're celebrating this process. So don't be a jerk. Have fun with them out there. We've all probably been there where someone isn't having an honest role with us, and they're coming here to compete. And we're not here to compete. We're here to celebrate, right? So let's approach your roles with the people that you're sparring with today that way. And people that are getting blue belts today will appreciate that. And because we're just celebrating them, we're not competing with them. Lastly, when you do go out there, especially if you're new to Ironmanning, there's something that my words won't mean anything. You'll be like, yeah, right. I got to show coach that I'm on this level too. No, we're not impressed by that. We're actually impressed by how smooth you are and how gracious you are and the grace that you showed to your teammates. No one has ever gotten a surprise promotion the day of Ironman because of how cool they looked at Ironman. So they're going to be toughing it out. They're going to be sparring for a long time. We're going to give them that work, but we're celebrating them. We have to keep it in that mentality, okay? You don't have to save something in the tank for me either. It's the same lesson. I'm there to celebrate you as well. I'm not there to compete with you. And if you give me a really hard time, it's not like I put a belt on you and then, hey, give me stripes, stripe you up also. It's not, there's no extra credit for it. Let's celebrate each other today, yeah? So let's keep that in mind as we roll, and let's have a good Ironman. I'm going to have you guys line back up on the wall so we can start our warm-up, and then we'll get started. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. So here's your homework assignment. Finish the sentence. I am